Inorganic fertilizers production. Welcome back to learn more about the fertilizer industry. Inorganic fertilizers have completely changed the way we farm. We've multiplied the ability of land when producing crops. The same area now makes over 4 times the amount of food because of fertilizers and additives. But how are they made? Well, nitrogen is mostly from the air. So, to make it available, bacteria in the soil sometimes fix and turn it into nitrates that can be dissolved. Before the First World War, bat guano and saltpeter from Chile used to be the only source of nitrogen containing salts for fertilizers and explosives. Haber revolutionized the industry by artificially reacting nitrogen directly with hydrogen. The nitrogen and hydrogen combine at a medium temperature and a very high pressure to favor the forward reaction. The catalyst, usually platinum or iron oxide, helps the reaction to produce ammonia at the fastest rate. Removing ammonia in one part of the reactor also pushes the reaction to replace it, making more to replace it. But where the nitrogen comes from is also worth mentioning. Nitrogen is freely available as 78% of the air. The only way to separate it is to cool the air down gradually, removing first the water, then the carbon dioxide. Then the oxygen and nitrogen are cooled until they are liquids at -200. Once the mixture is slowly warmed and nitrogen boils off at -196 degrees. The nitrogen that boils off here is pure and can be used to fuel the Haber process. Now that we have ammonia from the Haber process, we are ready to make the other products. Ammonia is catalytically oxidized to make nitrogen oxide and after a few important steps is used to make nitric acid. It's not needed that you memorize all the steps, but only the products of each. The first step makes nitrogen oxide. Adding more oxygen in step 2 allows for nitrogen 4-oxide formation. Adding further water and oxygen allows for nitric acid to form. Sulfuric acid is made by the contact process. From sulfur dioxide, catalysts and oxygen are added to make sulfur trioxide. The sulfur trioxide combines with some sulfuric acid, making oleum or pyrosulfuric acid, as it is sometimes named. Slowly adding water forms twice the amount of sulfuric acid. Now, multiple feedstocks that are valuable can be combined to give multiple useful salts. Ammonia and sulfuric acid make ammonium sulfate. This is very useful salt for lowering the pH of the soil and adding sulfur and nitrogen. The largest bulk fertilizer produced is called ammonium nitrate. This has 35% nitrogen and is an excellent and cheap explosive for the mining industry. It's made from ammonium hydroxide and nitric acid. These fertilizers are often combined in a variety of ratios to make up the NPK and other fertilizers used in gardens and farms. Calcium and phosphorus are sourced from phosphate minerals mined from the ground. The superphosphate process converts calcium phosphate into a far more soluble form by treating it with various acid. Potassium is mined as a mineral called potash, which is actually just potassium carbonate. Sometimes potassium carbonate is treated with nitric acid from the Oswald process to produce potassium nitrate. This is also an important salt in the production of fireworks and fertilizer because it contains both potassium and nitrogen. It's also one of the few nitrogen-containing fertilizers with a relatively neutral pH. When combined in various additives and micronutrients, these salts are very valuable in the production of NPK fertilizers.